So here we have another question, odd one out question. So, and the instruction for this question is there are five sentences, and each has been labeled with the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 related to a topic are given below. Four of them can be put together to form a coherent paragraph. We need to identify the odd sentence and key in the number of that sentence as our answer. Fine. Look at the all these five sentences. The first sentence says that no one real researcher of human behavior would say that gender is all nature or all nurture, right? So gender is all nature or all nurture. Second sentence says that the evidence for a biological region or basis for gender, the evidence for a biological basis for gender certainly doesn't mean we should be complacent in the face of sexism. Okay. Third, many people are uncomfortable with the idea that gender is not purely a social construct. So, then fourth sentence, despite this empirical truth, researchers who study the biological basis of gender often face political pushback. And the fifth sentence, there is a political preference for gender to be only a reflection of social factors and entirely malleable. So obviously we'll follow the kind of approach which we discussed, the 6 steps. Now, the first thing is called as the main rules we must apply. It's called as to solve any odd sentence out question is what? Now we need to find what that called as a main thing, isn't it? So if if we are finding the main theme, so what is the main theme here? What is the main theme? So if you see that what um, that is the first thing we need to find out the main theme. Second is called as we need to find sentence or sentences that support the main theme, right? So sentences that support the main theme, isn't it? Support the main theme, right? And third is what? Third is called as find the sentence that breaks the you can say that breaks the theme, right? We need to find the sentence that breaks the theme, right? So, and rule 4, what is that? We need to check logical flow of the means other 4 sentences, right or not? Now, if we apply these rules, let's see that the first one is called as application of rules on means these uh, 5 sentences. So the first thing is called as find out the main thing. Now, if you look at that, the first sentence, which is stated, no known real researcher of human behavior would say that gender is all nature or all nurture, isn't it? That is the first sentence. Second is called as a biological basis for gender. Um, Certainly doesn't mean we should be so and so for this phase of sexism, right? So it indicates that biological basis of gender doesn't mean we should ignore sexism. Then third is indicating many people are uncomfortable with gender not being only social. Then fourth one is called as researchers who study biological basis face what? Face political pushback. And fifth is called as a political preference for gender being only social and changeable, isn't it? Now, in that case, let's apply the rule. What do we find out? The first rule is called as a main theme. Now, when we read all the sentences, then we need to ask what is the main theme that we draw from all these sentences? What are most of these sentences talking about? All these sentences, five sentences are there. Out of five sentences, four sentences are talking about what? Right. If you see, means option one and option three, option four and option five. So these are all talk about what? Biological. These are talk about what? One, three, four, and five. They talk about. They talk about. They talk about. They talk about what? You can say that mm, biological, biological versus social, uh, social views, social views of gender, social views of gender, and the political reaction to it, and the political reaction to it. So the main theme is what? The main theme is a debate around the biological basis of gender and political resistance. So that is what is the main thing. Now, if I go to the rule two, the rule two is what? Sentences that support the main theme. So we need to find the sentences that support the main theme. So sentence one follows that. So it says what? Gender is not 100% nature or nurture. So it fits theme, it follows the theme. So sentence four, if we look at that sentence four, what do we find out? It says researcher of biological gender, biological gender face political pushback. So it also fits the theme. Sentence three. So what does it try to say? It says people dislike biological explanation, right or not? So uncomfortable with the idea that gender is not purely a social, right? So in that case, it also fits theme. And if I look at the sentence five, that says political groups prefer gender to be only social. So it also fits theme. So these four sentences match each other, right? Perfectly. So therefore, we can say one, four, three, five. Or sorry, one, three, four, five. That matches perfectly. Now, if we look at the rule three said that find the sentence that breaks the flow. Now, if I see that means if one, three, four, five, they flow with the same thing. So the only option two, which is left, which is talking about sexism. So if we put the question, which sentence brings a new idea, not related to the means one, three, four, five, we can find out sentence two. Why? Because it talks about sexism and says we should not ignore it, right? So, but the others talk about what? But the others talk about nature or nurture. So then you would find out political preference, right? Then we talk about social discomfort, discomfort, and also means a pushback against a biological research. So no other sentence mentions sexism, right? Or sentence two, you can say that what means breaks the theme here. So sentence two is the odd one out here, right? So if I look at the rule four is called a logical flow. Now we need to follow the glue test. So why glue test? Now to check if the other four forms a smooth paragraph or not. So if I look into that, option one, which is said about scientific truth. General scientific truth. And 4, that indicates about political pushback, right? And 3, why people push back, right? That is what it is stated. And 5, that indicates about political preference behind that belief. So they form a smooth and logical flow. So therefore, we can find out sentence 2 clearly cannot join the chain. So in that case, if we talk about the final summary of it, then I can point out um, rule 1, main theme, main thing, biological versus social views of gender. Rule 2, that indicates about sentences 1, 3, 4, 5 that supports, right, this theme. Rule 3, that indicates about sentence 2, which is talks about sexism. So that's why it breaks the flow. And rule 4, the remaining 4 form a smooth paragraph, right? So the answer is 2, right? That's all.